Have you ever wondered if the person you love truly loves you back? Love is more than just words. It's about deep understanding, commitment, and asking the right questions. If someone truly loves you, they won't just admire you from a distance. They will seek to know you on a profound level. True love isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small, meaningful questions that reveal genuine care and emotional investment. Today, let's uncover 5 powerful questions that someone who truly loves you will ask. Questions that separate real love from mere infatuation. True love is not just a fleeting emotion, nor is it a poetic fantasy designed to make us feel good. It is a responsibility, a commitment, a deep and abiding curiosity about another person. When someone truly loves you, they don't just tolerate your presence. They engage with you, seek to understand you, and actively participate in your journey through life. Love is not passive. It is not merely the absence of conflict or the presence of fleeting passion. It is an active pursuit, a relentless inquiry into the depths of another human being. And if someone genuinely loves you, they will ask questions. Because curiosity is the hallmark of care. A person who truly loves you will not assume they know everything about you. They will not reduce you to a static concept, a predictable entity that remains unchanged. Instead, they will recognize that you are an evolving, complex being with hopes, fears, and aspirations that shift over time. They will want to know what drives you, what excites you, what terrifies you. Because love, in its truest form, is not the blind acceptance of another person. It is the relentless pursuit of their truth. And this is where so many people fail in their relationships. They assume that love means comfort, that it is the absence of questions rather than the presence of them. But a relationship devoid of curiosity is a relationship on the brink of stagnation. When someone stops asking about you, stops engaging with your inner world, they are no longer truly loving you. They are merely coexisting with you. A person who loves you will not let that happen. They will inquire, they will challenge, they will dig deep because they want to know who you are beyond the surface. They want to know how your mind works, what you truly desire, what keeps you awake at night, and what ignites your soul. Now think about what this means in a real relationship. Imagine a person who never asks you about your dreams, who never wonders how you are feeling or what you are struggling with. That's not love. That's indifference disguised as companionship. A person who truly loves you will notice when something is wrong, and they won't just let it slide. They won't wait for you to break down before they pay attention. They will be proactive, not reactive. They will want to understand your suffering, not because they have to, but because they can't bear to ignore it. When a person loves you, they will ask questions that demand real answers, not just how was your day, but did anything challenge you today? Is there something on your mind that you haven't told me? They will ask, are you happy with where your life is going? And what do you need from me to feel truly supported? These are the questions that reveal love, because love is not just about being present, it is about being engaged. And this engagement is not always easy. Sometimes love requires you to ask difficult questions, the ones that make people uncomfortable. Are we growing together, or are we just holding on to something familiar? Do you feel like you can be your true self with me? Is there anything I'm doing that makes you feel unseen? A person who loves you will not be afraid of these conversations because their priority is not comfort, it is truth. And truth, though often painful, is the only foundation upon which real love can be built. Love is, at its core, an act of responsibility. When someone loves you, they take on the responsibility of knowing you. They make it their duty to understand you, to support you, to challenge you in ways that help you grow. They don't just offer passive acceptance. They actively participate in your evolution. They don't just love who you are today, they love who you are becoming. And because of this, they will ask you questions that inspire self-reflection. They will challenge you to think about your life, your choices, and your future. This kind of love requires courage. It requires a willingness to look beyond the immediate gratification of affection and into the deeper, sometimes unsettling truths of what it means to share your life with another person. It means embracing vulnerability, because real questions demand real answers. And those answers might not always be pleasant. They might reveal insecurities, doubts, or even disappointments. But that is what love is. It is the willingness to confront the full reality of another human being, not just the parts that are easy to love. So when someone truly loves you, they will never stop asking, they will never stop wanting to understand you better. Because to love someone is to be endlessly fascinated by them. It is to recognize that no matter how much you know them today, there is always more to discover. And that discovery is not a burden, it is a privilege. Love is not about finding a person and then stopping the search. It is about choosing a person and continuing to search within them again and again for the rest of your lives. Love is not simply about being together. It is about truly knowing one another. It is about the relentless pursuit of understanding, the daily effort to see and be seen. People often assume that love is something that just happens, that if two people care for each other, everything else will fall into place. But that is an illusion. Love is a skill, a practice, a responsibility. And one of the greatest indicators of true love is the willingness to ask the right questions. When someone truly loves you, they will not settle for superficiality. They will not be content with merely existing alongside you. They will want to know you deeply, thoroughly, in all your complexity. They will ask because they care. They will ask because understanding you matters to them. They will ask because the foundation of a strong relationship is built on knowing, not assuming, not guessing, but knowing. And to truly know someone, you must be willing to ask questions that go beyond the surface. You must be willing to engage in the difficult conversations, the vulnerable admissions, the raw and unfiltered truths that so many people are afraid to confront. A person who loves you will not just ask how your day was, they will ask how you felt about your day. They will ask what challenged you, what inspired you, what drained you. They will not merely inquire about your actions. They will seek to understand your thoughts, your emotions, your internal struggles. They will not be satisfied with generic responses. "I'm fine" is not an answer to them. "It was okay" does not satisfy their curiosity. They want more, not because they are intrusive, but because they refuse to let you live a life of quiet suffering, of unspoken fears and unexpressed desires. And this is where so many relationships falter. People assume that love means coexisting peacefully, that if they avoid difficult conversations, everything will be fine. But silence is not love. Ignorance is not love. Love demands awareness. It demands attention. If your partner does not ask about you, if they do not seek to understand you, then what they love is not you, but their idea of you. And that is not real love. That is convenience. A person who truly loves you will ask what makes you feel valued. They will not assume that what makes them feel loved is the same for you. They will not operate under the illusion that love is one size fits all. They will recognize that you have unique needs, that your heart responds to specific gestures, words, and actions. And they will want to know exactly what those are. Do you feel loved through words of affirmation? Or do actions speak louder to you? Does physical affection reassure you? Or is quality time what truly makes you feel cherished? They will ask, not because they are unsure of their love, but because they want to express it in a way that reaches you. And yet, this kind of questioning makes people uncomfortable. It requires effort, vulnerability, and self-awareness. It requires looking beyond one's own needs and stepping into the mind of another. It forces a person to confront the fact that what they think they are giving may not be what the other person needs. And that is a humbling real. It is far easier to love in the way that feels natural to us than it is to adapt our expressions of love to meet someone else's deepest emotional requirements. But that is what love demands. Love is not about ease, it is about effort. When someone truly loves you, they will ask what makes you feel safe. They will not assume that their presence alone is enough. They will want to know what reassures you, what calms your anxieties, what helps you trust. They will not dismiss your fears, nor will they minimize your past wounds. They will acknowledge them, they will respect them, and they will work with you to create an environment where you feel truly secure. And this kind of love is rare. Many people claim to love, but few take the time to understand. Few are willing to ask the hard questions, to engage in the kind of deep introspection that true love requires. It is easy to say, I love you. It is far harder to ask, do you feel loved by me? And then to listen, without defensiveness, to the answer. It is easy to assume that we are doing enough. It is far harder to ask, what more can I do? A person who loves you will ask not just because they are curious, but because they want to grow with you. They will not be satisfied with a static relationship, with the illusion that everything is fine, simply because there is no visible conflict. They will seek to evolve, to improve, to deepen the connection. They will not take your love for granted. They will not assume that just because things are good now, they will always be good. They will ask, because they know that love, if not nurtured, will wither. And this is what separates true love from convenience. This is what distinguishes a relationship that will last from one that will inevitably fade. Love is not about simply being together. It is about knowing one another fully and completely. And the only way to truly know someone is to ask, to listen, and to never stop being curious about the person you love. A person who truly loves you will not shy away from the difficult conversations. They will not avoid the uncomfortable truths or pretend that problems do not exist. They will not let resentment build in silence, nor will they allow misunderstanding to fester in the dark corners of unspoken thoughts. Because real love, love that is strong, love that endures, is not about the absence of conflict. It is about how two people choose to navigate it. Conflict is inevitable. It arises not because people are incompatible, but because they are individuals with different experiences, perspectives, and emotional landscapes. And if you think that love should be effortless, that it should never be challenged by disagreement, then you are mistaking comfort for connection. A person who genuinely loves you will ask, how can we handle our conflicts better? Not because they fear arguments, but because they value the relationship more than their own pride. They will not resort to blame or manipulation, nor will they engage in battles where winning is the only goal. They will not treat disagreements as a war to be won, but as an opportunity to strengthen the foundation of your relationship. They will seek resolution, not victory. And that distinction is crucial. People often assume that love is about never fighting, but that is a dangerous illusion. The absence of conflict is not a sign of a healthy relationship. It is often a symptom of avoidance, of emotional detachment, of people too afraid to voice their true thoughts and desires. If you are never disagreeing, it is not because everything is perfect. It is because one or both of you have chosen silence over truth, and nothing erodes a relationship faster than the slow decay of unspoken grievances. A person who truly loves you will want to understand how you process conflict. Do you need space to think, or do you need immediate resolution? Do raised voices make you shut down, or do you feel unheard unless everything is laid out in the open? They will ask because they want to communicate in a way that strengthens rather than weakens the bond between you. They will not assume that their way of handling conflict is the only way. They will not dismiss your emotional needs as irrational or unimportant. They will not resort to passive aggression, nor will they weaponize your vulnerabilities against you. And yet, so many relationships crumble under the weight of unresolved conflict. Not because the love wasn't real, but because the people involved were never taught how to navigate their differences with maturity and respect. Love does not make you immune to anger, to frustration, to hurt. It does not shield you from the reality that two people, no matter how deeply they care for one another, will sometimes clash. But love, a person who truly loves you will not allow small problems to become insurmountable walls. They will not let minor annoyances snowball into deep-seated resentment. They will bring things into the open, even when it is uncomfortable. Even when it is easier to pretend that everything is fine. They will not shut down or walk away when things get difficult. They will stay, they will engage, they will fight for understanding rather than against you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Handling conflict well is not easy. It requires self-awareness, emotional regulation, and an immense amount of humility. It forces you to set aside your ego, to listen rather than simply waiting for your turn to speak. It demands that you stop seeing your partner as an adversary and start seeing them as an ally. Because love is not about proving yourself right. It is about creating a dynamic where both people feel heard, valued, and safe. A person who loves you will ask, "What can I do differently next time?" They will reflect on their own actions rather than focusing solely on yours. They will take responsibility when they are wrong, and they will expect the same from you. They will not keep score. They will not hold past mistakes over your head like weapons to be deployed in future battles. They will understand that trust is built not by never making mistakes, but by owning them and learning from them. And this is what sets apart a relationship that lasts from one that crumbles. It is not about avoiding conflict, but about mastering it. It is about learning to navigate disagreement with patience and grace. It is about seeking resolution rather than revenge. A person who truly loves you will not allow temporary emotions to dictate the long-term health of the relationship. They will not lash out with words they cannot take back, nor will they walk away when things become challenging. They will stay, they will ask, they will work with you, not against you. Because real love does not fear conflict. It uses it to build something even stronger. Love is not just about the good times, the laughter, the shared joys. It is not merely the warmth of companionship or the thrill of passion. Those things matter, of course. They make life richer, more meaningful. But they are not the test of love. Anyone can love when it's easy. Anyone can stand beside you when the sun is shining and the road is smooth. That's not impressive. That's not rare. What is rare, what is truly meaningful, is the kind of love that endures difficulty, that withstands struggle, that refuses to abandon you when you are at your lowest. A person who truly loves you will ask, "How can I support you when you're struggling?" They will not wait for you to fall apart before they pay attention. They will not turn away when your life becomes inconvenient, when you are no longer the bright, happy, enthusiastic version of yourself that they first fell in love with. Because love, real love, is not conditional, upon your perpetual strength. It does not vanish when you are weak. It does not dissolve when you are lost, confused, overwhelmed. And yet, many people do not know how to handle this. They are comfortable with love when it is effortless, when it asks nothing of them beyond enjoyment and companionship. But when love demands something deeper, when it requires patience, sacrifice, resilience, many people recoil. They distance themselves. They become frustrated that the person they love is not as easy as they used to be, not as entertaining, not as emotionally self-sufficient. But that's not love. That's a transaction. That's a relationship built on utility, on what the other person provides, rather than who they fundamentally are. A person who truly loves you will notice when you are withdrawing, even if you do not say a word. They will see it in the way your eyes dim, in the way your voice loses its usual energy, in the way your responses become shorter, quieter, less engaged. And they will not simply assume that it is not their concern. They will not wait for you to explain yourself. They will ask, "What's on your mind? What's weighing on you? What can I do to help?" Because love does not assume. Love investigates. Love seeks to understand. But here's the reality. Supporting someone through their struggles is not easy. It is not just about offering comforting words or temporary reassurance. It is about patience, about standing firm when the person you love is too exhausted to hold themselves up. It is about being a source of stability, a refuge, a place where they can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or rejection. It is about resisting the urge to them and instead simply being with them, beside them, offering what is needed rather than what is convenient. A person who truly loves you will not make you feel like a burden when you are struggling. They will not sigh in exasperation when you express your fears. Nor will they dismiss your worries as irrational or dramatic. They will not tell you to just get over it or stop overthinking. They will not measure your worth based on your ability to always be happy, always be stable, always be strong. Because love, in its truest form, is not about what the other person provides. It is about who they are, even in their darkest moments. And this is where so many people fail in relationships. They want a version of love that is easy, predictable, uncomplicated. They do not want the responsibility of holding space for another person's pain. They do not want to be the one who stays up late listening, who reassures, who reminds again and again that they are here, that they are not going anywhere. They do not want to do the work of supporting someone through depression, through loss, through fear. But love, real love, does not walk away when things become difficult. A person who truly loves you will also recognize that support is not about control. They will not try to dictate how you should feel or rush you toward healing simply because your pain makes them uncomfortable. They will not pressure you to move on before you are ready, nor will they make you feel weak for struggling in the first place. They will respect your process, your emotions, your needs, and they will ask, "What do you need from me right now? Do you want advice, or do you just need me to listen? How can I make this easier for you?" Because love does not impose, it adapts. And this is the difference between love and mere attachment. Attachment says, "I want you to be happy because that makes my life easier." Love says, "I want you to be okay because I care about you even when it's hard." Attachment demands that you always be pleasant, always be cheerful, always be fine. Love accepts that you are human, that sometimes you will struggle, sometimes you will need support, sometimes you will not have the strength to be the person you were yesterday. And a person who truly loves you will not hold that against you. They will not see it as a flaw or an inconvenience. They will see it as an opportunity to show up, to be there, to prove that their love is not fragile, not dependent on your ability to always be okay. And this is what makes love rare. This is what makes it meaningful. Anyone can love when it's easy, but real love, the kind that lasts, the kind that withstands time and hardship and uncertainty, is the love that asks, how can I support you when you need me most? And then listens, and then stays. And